It is time. Hello guys, welcome back to another video on the cheap BMW 318D that we got from Birmingham, aka Project KFC. So what are we doing today then? We're going to be doing the first modification to this car, which is something that I pretty much recommend you do to any diesel, and that is to completely remove the EGR system. So massive thanks to Darkside Developments. They have sent me out their kit. Now, I have installed one of these kits on one of these engines before. That was the N47D20A engine. So slightly different setup. This is a N47D20C engine, as you can tell from the different intake manifolds. So I believe it will be pretty much a similar story. Of course, unbolt it from the exhaust manifold, and then I'll have to blank the intake manifold up as well, and then just the two coolant ports where it goes into the cylinder head. So yeah, should be pretty straightforward, nothing that I haven't done before. Why am I removing the entire system, not just blanking off the EGR valve or just not even touching it, just getting it removed, you know, electronically? Basically, I'm doing it to eliminate a potential failure point. So the EGR coolers, they are known to leak coolant. They're also known to crack down here as well and leak exhaust gases. And not only that, with all this removed out of the way, it saves so much space in the engine bay. It allows you to access your water pump, thermostat and your drive belt a hell of a lot easier. So with all this out of the way, it saves a lot of room, saves a little bit of weight, and it just makes working in the engine bay a hell of a lot easier. Now, if you do want to do this job yourself and you have one of these engines, I will leave the link down in the description box below so you can pick up one of these kits. But without further ado, let's just get into things. So as you've probably noticed, the engine bay is looking a bit bare. I've just removed the main engine cover and then the front air intake section here. It's the engine cover. This is the front air intake. This is just held in by 3 screws, Torx 20 screws. Just remove them. As you can see, we have a whole lot more room to work in now. Next thing I'm going to do is remove the airbox. Don't strictly have to remove this, but I am going to give it a good clean out, and I have a new filter to go in as well, so I may as well do it at the same time. You are going to want to remove the tip, the turbo intake pipe as well. So remove the crankcase breather hose that goes onto the rocker cover, and then it should be held onto the turbo with a clamp. And there should also be a mounting point here as well, that E-Torx bolt. I'll get that removed. Be interesting actually, once we have this intake pipe out of the way, the condition of the turbo. Be the perfect time to check it. There we are. That's the intake pipe removed. And while we're here, let's have a good gander into the turbo. No, there's no playing that at all. Seems to turn freely. No, there's no up and down play or side to side play, which is good. I've just noticed a big oily mess here, and it actually runs all the way down this side of the engine and kind of leads to a pretty big puddle there at the bottom. And I mean, it can leak here from the crankcase breather, you know, this O-ring here, that can fail, but I actually think most of this is just what has been spilt from topping up the oil. I don't know why it's like this, but there's kind of like an overflow hole there, but it doesn't go to anywhere, it literally just pulls out the side. And so anytime you spill any oil in this catch basin here, it literally just runs straight down the side of your engine. So yeah, I don't think we have an oil leak here. I think it's majority of this is just old, what has been spilt over the years. Bad design though, that is. Right then, let's start getting the EGR system removed. So 2 bolts holding it onto the exhaust manifold. They are T45, or they take a T45 socket. I'll crack them loose. They shouldn't be tight at all. That's both of those bolts removed. Now I'm just going to get things unbolted from the intake side, so just 2 10mm bolts. Don't think these remove fully. That should be now free from there. Now we can get all of the wiring out of the way and any vacuum hoses. So I can probably just lift up this vacuum controller here. There we are, that is detached now. Should probably disconnect the EGR valve itself. I believe, we may have one vacuum hose to disconnect. Saying that, it can probably come off this end because I believe we have a cap for this. And with this vacuum hose now disconnected, I should be able to just unbolt the EGR cooler now. So it looks like 1 bolt there, 1 bolt there, and then another bolt there. Looks like 3 Allen bolts. That is all 3 bolts removed. Those 3 Allen bolts. Now in theory there should be nothing holding this whole lot in place. Yeah, I can already see it's quite loose. So get something to catch the water / coolant, because it is going to start leaking quite a lot from the cylinder head in those 2 places. There we are, we're free. So that is everything now removed. I'm just going to give things a good clean up and then we can get on to the installation of the EGR delete kit. Right then, gave things a quick clean down. Let's start getting things installed. So it's pretty self-explanatory where everything goes. It can only go in one position. This right here is the blanking plate for the exhaust manifold, and there should be the same size gasket. So we will install this along with the original bolt that we removed from there. And of course the larger blank and gasket that will go onto the intake side. So we'll get our nice new gasket. Make sure it's on the correct way around, and the blanking plate can go over as well. Like that, yeah. And these were not tight. I'd say 10 Newton meters is sufficient for these. And then for these 2 bolts here, again, these were not tight. I'd say they're about 20 Newton meters on the exhaust side. And with the exhaust and the intake now blanked off, all that's left is to blank off the coolant ports. I believe we are going to have to remove 1 bolt there from the thermostat housing because that gets replaced, and then this blank goes into that place there. I have just removed that bolt out of the thermostat housing because this one will take its place. It's a longer bolt and it has this spacer there as well. And again, don't have to go crazy with them. I would say 10 Newton meters is suffice as well, which leaves this coolant blank for the top one. Again, we'll get it lined up. This one's pushed in nicely. Get our new bolt lined up with the factory bolt hole as well, and we can tighten that one down also. And again, no need to go crazy on the torque. And of course, can't forget that blanking plug for the vacuum line as well. And with everything now properly installed, we can get everything put back together. So we can get the turbo intake pipe reinstalled, we can get the airbox reinstalled, and we can get the engine covers reinstalled as well. And then we can get this engine fired up and see if we have any problems. Let's just say it's a good job I'm cleaning the airbox out as well. Like a bloody bird's nest in here. And I checked the date on the filter as well. 2012. Not good. Okay, so with everything now back together with a nice clean air filter in place, let's get the engine fired up and see if we have any issues. Of course, main thing I'm checking for first is any leaks, so coolant leaks. Any exhaust leaks. Now there's a little bit of smoke coming from the exhaust manifold, but I'm fairly sure that's just the oil that I've washed down onto it just burning off. Everything seems okay, to be honest. Engine seems to be running nice and smoothly. Engine seems to rev a bit more freely. I have noticed that in the past, to be honest. The throttle response does seem a bit better once you have the EGR removed. Turbo seems to spool quicker. Okay then, so there we go, another job done. I'm just letting the engine get up to temperature because I'm going to do a full coolant flush. I'll do that off camera, I've done that a bunch of times before. Plenty of videos on my channel if you want to see a coolant flush. Now, I'm going to answer a few questions which I know are going to get left in the comment section. Is there anything else left to do after physically removing the EGR and EGR cooler? To answer that, yes, you will need to get a remap unless you want an engine management light on. It's not on at the moment, but I'm expecting after around 20 miles or so, that's typically when the engine management light decides to come on. So yes, you are going to have to get a remap so that you no longer have this engine management light illuminated. Should you remove your DPF after removing your EGR valve? In my opinion, if you have a DPF and you've removed your EGR valve, it makes sense to remove the DPF as well. It's another emission control device that's only going to fail along with the EGR valve. So next thing that I plan on doing on this car is to remove the DPF. Now, another question, is this legal? Here in the UK, are you allowed to remove your EGR valve? If it's going on the road, no, you're not. luckily for me, this is an off-road vehicle. I have one that looks pretty similar to this. It has the exact same reg and all the rest of it. That is the one that I do take on the road. This one is strictly an off-road project. I hope you kind of get the gist there. But yes, there is really no reason why you should fail an MOT with your EGR valve removed. I know they can physically inspect, but 9 times out of 10 or 99 times out of 100, they don't even know what an EGR valve looks like or where it may be on your engine. I've never had an issue when it comes to EGR, you know, the EGR valve being removed. So yes, I'll pretty much always do it on all of my cars. It's just another thing that cannot fail in the future, which an EGR valve, to begin with, it's always going to fail, and it requires consistent maintenance. So I just get rid of it and reap the benefits of not having it in place. Yeah, hopefully that's kind of pre-answered all the questions that I'm going to get on this topic. I want to thank you all for watching. Hopefully this video has been helpful. Hopefully you've all enjoyed it. Please give this video a like, leave a comment down below. Also remember, if you want to get this kit from Darkside, of course, a link will be down in the description box below, and I will see you all in that next one.